And welcome back to the Constitutionals Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Episode 224. Just had to start the timer. That's the word I was looking for. I'm trying a new setup for it. This is a little inside baseball for you people who don't know what I do here, which is everybody. I am trying a new configuration. I plugged in the Zoom recorder into the computer so I can record directly into Audition, which, hint, I never usually do. The thing is, if you've been listening to this show for a little bit, this is an old computer, not very old, but it's old. It's from like 2015 or 16. And it's 5 years old, so 2016. So it is struggling, to say the least. 16 gigs of RAM, which should really help, but it's been 5 years, 5+ years. So we'll just go with it. Hopefully this is I think this is a more efficient way, because I did just do my latest interview with Christian Mercado was done via this method. It does not sound any better than the other ways of doing it. I just got sick of recording directly to a card, then remembering to take the card out, put it inside the computer, and do all this stuff. So I said, why not just do this? My list came back. That was a little bit. What's going on today? Today is the day I'm recording this, the day that this comes out, is the Atlanta Braves won the World Series a couple of days ago, and now today is the parade. The parade started down here by me in the city, and it created a march. Did a march all the way up to Smyrna, where the baseball stadium is. The stadium did used to be down here near downtown Atlanta, or actually in downtown Atlanta, rather. And the rich people voted to take it to Cobb County, where it is now, to get away from the brown people. It's far away from any MARTA, far away from you used to be able to just take a train down to the baseball, take a train down, then take one bus, and then you're at the baseball stadium, or you're near the baseball stadium. From where I live, I could just take an Uber, hop Uber. It's a 5-minute drive on the highway. But years ago, that's what I used to do in high school. We used to come down to the baseball games and all the football and basketball. It was great. Anyway, and now it's. You gotta get on the highway. It takes about 20, 30 minutes sometimes. Can't park near the stadium unless you want to pay a butt ton. It's horrible. And I didn't go to parade. I was invited at the last minute, about an hour before it was heading towards Smyrna, and they shut down. If I've never been to like a parade of this sort where a team has won a sporting event, and I would have gone, but they closed down a lot of streets, and I said no. So instead, I bought a stand mixer. I bought a stand mixer, and instead of going to see this parade, I mean, it would just been a parade of 12 cars goes by and a bus goes by, and then we wave to them and we cheer, and that's it. And then if you're racist, you do the tomahawk chalk. Which is chop. It's yes, it is racist. It's funny because I was on Nextdoor a couple of days ago, and yes, yes, it's just as racist there as it is if you're a person of color and you want to see white people treat animals better than they treat a homeless person of color, or any person of color in general, go to Nextdoor. Anyway, and they were debating whether some people were like, "I can't wait to chop it up in this parade," and then people started saying, "Hey, that's not. You shouldn't do that." And then no, excuse me. Some people were So those people were like, I can't wait to Chop in Brave in the parade. I'm so excited, Chop. I don't care what anybody says. And then everyone's like, and then like the people on there, they're like, it's not racist, and it is. It's funny seeing racist debate what is and isn't racist. Anyway, 5 minutes, good. So I bought a stand mixer. I'm going to do a lot more baking than I've done ever. It's great. All right, let's get on with this thing. First things first. This one comes from Variety. Oh, God. I'm really having... This computer's struggling. Maybe I shouldn't use Chrome. Maybe I should just use Firefox, which is what I use on my work computer. I like Firefox. I like them both. This first one comes from Variety, written by Brian Steinberg, and it's a feature piece titled "As Saturday Night Live Cast in High Demand for Commercials After Years of Making Fake Ads." Saturday Night Live, SNL, as known colloquially. It has been making a bunch of fake commercials, obviously, since basically its inception. But now, if you haven't noticed, there has been an explosion of SNL stars starring in ads. Kate McKinnon's on Verizon. Aidy Bryant is in a Gap commercial, I believe. Is it Gap? Oh, Old Navy. It's the same company. It doesn't matter. Let's see. Oh, Kenan Thompson is in Auto Trader commercials. Cecily Strong has done a bunch. And Pete Davis. I made that mistake last night. I was talking to somebody, and they said, and I said Pete Holmes. And this person knew who Pete Holmes was, and I said, oh my God. Pete Davidson is in a Smart Water commercial. And these are all these. And Steinberg is over here just talking about how everybody. This is like the first time ever that they've been able to do this in the middle of a season. Oh, Ego Wodom's on a Peacock commercial. She's on a bunch of Peacock commercials. According to the marketing arm's study of such attributes, according to the marketing arm's study, ... people like Kate McKinnon, Kenan Thompson, Aidy Bryant, their appeal is on par with Tom Hanks, Will Smith, or Dolly Parton, while awareness of a lot of other SNL people's names is comparable to Chrissy Teigen, Robert Pattinson, and Eva Longoria. Basically what they're saying is that SNL stars are equal to the A-list movie stars and TV stars of today. This is great because this is like the first season basically in 46 years. I know it's season 47, but in 46 years where cast members of SNL have been able to branch out and do things besides SNL, not only during the summer, but also during the and have it run concurrently with SNL throughout the year, but also during the season. And if you remember, Lorne Michaels basically said to everybody on the cast, "Hey, stay till season 50." I don't know if that counts for people that are featured players, but he basically said to the everybody else, repertory players, he said, "Hey, stay till season 50 at least." And I like this. I like this move. I like them being able to do their own things. Kate's been gone from SNL for the first 3 episodes, and doing the Tiger King show on Peacock. And gotta say, they're doing great. SNL's doing great. Well, with Beck gone, you also it's always strange when somebody from SNL leaves. And again, I've only been watching. My first episode was the Betty White episode, which was a Mother's Day episode, which is the season finale of that season. So that was my very first episode, and I thought it was so funny, so great. And now it wavers here and there. But I love this. I love this. It's momentous. It's wonderful to see everybody go out and branch out. Kenan Thompson's got Kenan, and Aidy had Shrill. Cecily has Brigadoon. Oh, Schmigadoon. What's it called? I don't know. Schmigadoon is a Brigadoon. Brigadoon is a different miracle musical. Jesus. Okay. Everybody's at this. I've sent one email today. Everybody is at this Braves thing. I don't know if I'm telling tales out of school, but I went. Let's see. I went. I basically just bought that stand mixer and went grocery shopping this morning because I had the time. I had a feeling no one was going to do anything, so I went to the gym and I took my sweet time. I was there 2.5 hours. That's crazy. And then I went to I got the stand mixer. Came home. It's like 10:30. So I'm like 30 minutes, late past checking in for work or whatever. And I checked my email. I checked Slack, and the people I thought were going to be out were out. And so then I basically just sat down and was like, well, I guess I'll just do whatever. And I hung out for a little bit, and then truly like 30 minutes before I sat down for this podcast, I went and I bought some what's it called? Lip. I have a regimen for my face. I just have a skin regimen, but I also bought a lip mask, and then I went to Sephora, and then I rode my bike down to get Nova's cat food, and I got back, still no email. Just hung out for a little bit, had some lunch, and then it was like 2:00, 2:30. I got one email for asking a question, and I forwarded that along, and here we are, recording this podcast still. So where were we? So the theory for this is coming from Kenan Thompson. I think Lauren has always been an advocate for everybody that's kind of subsidizing their finances in any kind of way they can, says Kenan. As long as it's not something like, why didn't you put that character on the show? Why are you developing sketch characters for other people? That's kind of the only time it gets a little muddy, I guess. And that makes sense because if you listen to Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, which I only do every few weeks now at this point. That's true. In the early part of the podcast, he was chatting with somebody that he had on Late Night with Conan O'Brien, and he tells a story about it was probably somebody from SNL, but he tells a story about how they would ask when he was in 30 Rock, he would ask and hosting Late Night, he would ask Will Ferrell and Amy Poehler Amy Poehler's the same issue. Amy Poehler to like come up, and people like that to come upstairs and do sketch characters for them or what have you, and they would do it, and then behind Lauren's back, and Lauren would get mad, and that makes sense because you don't want to waste a character on a little thing when it could have been a big character on SNL. Anyway, advertisers should open up their arms for comedians, and a funny commercial goes a long way. All you gotta do is pay them. Oh yeah, that's right. There was the MacGruber sketch on SNL. They did Super Bowl commercials for Pepsi, I believe. Yeah. Anyway. All right, let's move on to the next story. It's gone on for long. This comes from The Hollywood Reporter, written by George Zalai. Comcast takes $520 million loss on Peacock, doesn't disclose new signups. So as we know, everybody is making their own streaming platform. Peacock has been out for a little over a year now. Is that true? I don't know. It feels like forever. Yeah, because HBO Max has been out for a year. So Peacock's been out for a little over a year now. And it's not doing too well. It's not doing terribly well, obviously, because it's not Netflix. It's not Disney Plus. It's not HBO Max. It's not Apple. Well, I don't think Apple TV Plus are doing well either. But this money lost doesn't make up for the fact that they're not disclosing the subscribers. And there's another article from Variety, written by Diane Garrett. Peacock struggles to take flight amid low demands for its original for its TV originals. But let's get back to this first article, and then I'll reference the other one at some point. So Comcast reported on Thursday, this past Thursday, that $230 million in revenue and a $520 million adjusted loss related to NBC Universal streaming service Peacock in its third quarter earnings report. Yeah, they reported $230 million in revenue. That's compared to $41 million in revenue and an adjusted gross loss of $233 million in that comparable year ago period. Comparable. They assert that everything on Peacock is going in the right direction. And that everything, all the metrics are pointed up, or usage continues to be great. A mix of users, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. Important to note that Peacock had ended the second quarter with 54 million signups, around 20 million monthly active accounts. But that's not disclosing how many people actually pay. 20 million accounts active, that includes me, who is free and just watches, the things that are free. So they've been doing things like having movies like Boss Baby back in business, and Halloween Kills release on the platform, but A, they're not terribly good movies, and B, they're not movies that people are clamoring to see. I just got an email from a trade publication on the C Plus Comedy Gmail. C Plus Comedy it's a clean show. C Plus Comedy Gmail account that says that the Eternals is on track. The Disney movie Eternals, Marvel Disney. Jeez, I was gonna say Fox. I couldn't say the word Fox. The Disney Marvel movie, Disney Marvel movie Eternals is on track for $100 million at its opening. Wait, was that $100 million? Or that might be wrong. Hold on. $100 million promo partner campaign. Anyway, that's still a lot of money. It's a promo partner campaign. But what's different between Peacock and something like, let's compare it to, in this Variety article, they compare it to Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus at least has 1, 2, 3 different new Star Trek shows. And then even to that end, Disney Plus is dropping something every week. Netflix is dropping something every 4 days a week. HBO Max has something every week. So what is Peacock offering that no one else has? And even if I love AP Bio and if I like Rutherford Falls, it still doesn't have the show that people are going to be clamoring for. And that's what that's what a service like this needs. Like, even look at Apple TV Plus, which I don't think has many subscribers. Let's see how many subscribers it has. I'm not going to use a computer. I'm going to use my phone. Let's see. Apple TV Plus subs. It looks like it's telling me subtitles. And I don't want that. Subscribers 2021. I'm going to guess and say it has fewer. Oh, wow. Okay. So this is a Variety article. It says it has fewer than 20 million subscribers as of July 2021. And that's in in the US and Canada. So, Peacock, even though they're not giving out the numbers, 54 million signups. I mean, and less than 20 million people use it, active accounts. That can't be. I would probably think with a loss, an additional $20 million loss from 230 to 250 million. I would probably think that they have maybe 5 million users, like paying subscribers. Less than that, I think. I don't think they even reach double digits. So what does Peacock have? They have that new the prequel to the Da Vinci Code show, Dr. Death, Girls 5 Eva, which is a great show. Rutherford Falls, great show. But none of them. I've seen commercials for Peacock, which is interesting to say the least. Commercials are wonderful. We just talked about them. So what people need, what it needs, is a show or movie that people need to see. People need to see Ted Lasso. That's why it does so well. That's why it wins all the awards. People need to see The Mandalorian. What's a Netflix show? Stranger Things. I'll think of another one. Lock and Key. That's the one that's advertised right now. Face too far away from the Face ID. I gotta lean in and open it up. Get away from the camera. Take my attention away from you. Only the video users know what I just did. No one else. Big Mouth. Big Mouth is new today. You. Great British Baking Show. I mean, come on. Peacock mustered only 1.6% of digital original demand share in the U.S. during the third quarter, a slight improvement from 1.4% that it had last quarter. Paramount Plus is at 3.9%. Well, you know what? I will say, I just finished the Star Trek Lower Decks. It takes me a long time to finish a show. It takes me a long time, and I finished it. So I was part of that 3.9%. HBO Max, Apple TV Plus, Hulu Prime, and Disney Plus all had between 6.1 and 8.9%. Netflix had 43.7% of that metric. Peacock needs a show. And I think my biggest problem is I would rather this have had... Did I say from 230 million to 250 million at one point? Like maybe a couple of minutes ago? Oh no, they lost 520. They have 230 revenue. It doesn't matter. Who cares? I'm listening to this stupid show. What I would have loved to have seen Peacock drop as a channel on Amazon Prime and as an additional thing onto Hulu, as opposed to its own service. Because I think they just misrepresented how many people want an ad-supported service, a free ad-supported service, when there's already the Fox Broadcasting-backed Tubi and as well as Pluto, which I would guarantee is probably dominating the free TV segment. Unless Roku is doing well, but I don't think that's quite possible. The Roku channels is what I meant for that. Let's move on to this next one. This comes from Variety, written by Brian Steinberg. Discovery Q3. I don't know if I can talk about this. Discovery Q3 profits falls on expenses, even as revenue, digital subscribers rise. So again, Discovery, AT&T spun off WarnerMedia with Discovery, which means Discovery and WarnerMedia are going to merge, become one company, WarnerMedia Discovery. And eventually that means we're probably going to see a bundle for HBO Max. And then, I'm not even going to hide this part of the story, we will possibly, according to David Zaslav, who's the head of Discovery, may see a merger of HBO Max and Discovery Plus. And I'll get to my thoughts on that in a second. So by the middle of 2022, Discovery is going to have full control, or, I think AT&T retains like 30%, something like that, of WarnerMedia. Let's remind you what Discovery owns: Food Network, Discovery Channel, and TLC. The net income fell to $156 million, down 48% when compared with $300 million in the year earlier period. Revenue, meanwhile, rose 23% to $3.15 billion, compared with the $2.56 billion a year earlier. The company said U.S. revenue rose 12%, while international revenue rose 44%. Results came in ahead of Wall Street's expectations. I think that international thing Only grew because I think maybe Discovery Plus is available internationally. They have House Hunters International too, so that might be a thing. That might be a factor. I'm still wearing the shirt that I biked in, and even though it's cold outside, I was sweating because I biked. I biked to Sephora. I biked to get the cat food. I came back. I nearly got into a crash because of a guy on the trail on one of those electric scooters. And the reason I mention that is because I am still a little bit sweaty, and it's been an hour and a half. Discovery, like other media companies, continues to face headwinds as consumers embrace new technology, blah, blah, blah. Let's move on to this next part. Less than half, this comes from The Wrap, written by Jennifer Moss. Less than half of U.S. Discovery Plus subscribers are also HBO Max subscribers, says David Zaslav. Less than half. So let's say there's 10 subscribers to Discovery Plus. You would think they're all, excuse me, did I do that math wrong? Yeah, there's 10 subscribers to Discovery Plus. You would think that they're all subscribed to HBO Max. No. 4 of them are. Zaslav says, with the right packaging, there's going to be an opportunity to broaden the base for the combined offering of Discovery Plus and HBO Max. Remember, HBO Max and HBO have 45.2 million subscribers. At some point at the end of Q3, total. So that's in the U.S., 45.2 million. Totally, they had 69. They have 69 million. 20 million people subscribe to Discovery Plus. Crazy. Now, Zaslav does have a, quote, go-to-market attack plan. This comes from Variety, written by Cynthia Littleton. As Warner Brothers' Discovery debt picture improves. Zaslav reiterated that the spinoff deal unveiled in May that will bring together the companies is well on track, he says. The combined entity will have a debt ratio of 4.5 times the annual earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. Down from the projected 5 times, all that stuff. Every fraction of a percentage point will matter for Warner Bros. Discovery over the long term. It's just a bunch of numbers. I don't know why I included this part in here, because I don't know any of this stuff. Zaslav was pressed for details on his thoughts about how WarnerMedia and Discovery will integrate operations specifically for their respective streaming platforms. He says the combined service will appeal broadly. Oh, see, he already said that there's going to be a combined service. Will appeal broadly to demographics. That global addressable market should be on par with the biggest streaming services. Yeah, and all right. So since he mentioned that, I get what's on my mind here, what I've been thinking about since I've seen these stories. I do believe that there's a big enough difference in the audience for HBO Max and Discovery Plus that there doesn't need to be a combined service. I get that you're splitting the user base when you have more than one app, but if you look at Hulu and if you look at ESPN Plus, those are two different people. Well, okay, hold on. You can get ESPN Plus on Hulu. If you look at Hulu and if you look at Disney Plus, I can see why somebody would just get Disney Plus or why somebody would just get Hulu as opposed to getting both, because the offerings are so different. Like, I can watch Big City Greens on Disney Plus, and that's the only cartoon I want to see. Or I can watch what's on Disney Plus? I can watch Marvel's What If on there, and if that's the only superhero thing I want to see, then I don't have to subscribe to Hulu. and see what they have. Ghost Rider, no, that show was not made. Agents of Shield or Hellstrom, I think that was a show too. What was the other one? Cloak and Dagger. Like, if I don't want to watch all that stuff, then I don't have to. If it's you don't have to if you don't subscribe, whatever. But still, that's the point. So if taking it back to HBO Max and Discovery Plus, if all I watch is TLC, I'm gonna watch My 600-Pound Life on Discovery Plus, and I'm not even gonna worry about watching Secrets of a Marriage. This is the third time in this week that I've mentioned that show, whether to people or on this podcast, and I've never seen it, and I have no interest in seeing it. But man, I keep referencing it for some reason. And we know that there's going to, I mentioned this before a couple episodes ago, there's going to be a new HBO Max app, because the app that they built the current HBO Max on, was built off of HBO Now, which was inherently a broken app in the first place. Zaslav stressed that they have not reached the stage of making granular decisions about whether to combine Discovery Plus and HBO Max or other bundling options. Again, I just think a bundle would work for them. Like, so at some point in December, the movies that come out in theaters and also on HBO Max, that deal's going to stop. We know that's going to stop. So what users who pay $15 per month, that big draw is going to go away. And so, yes, they don't get ads, but also if you pay the $10 a month one, those get ads. But also, there's got to be something to fill in that gap. And that gap should be Discovery Plus, a subscription to Discovery Plus. Just like with the Disney bundle, if I was already paying $12 a month for Hulu, and so if ESPN Plus is now $6, and if Disney Plus is $8, and that bundle total is like $18.99, and I get like $7 off, and so now I'm only paying like $13 or $14 instead of paying $18 for each one of those individually. That works. So Discovery Plus is $7. So the ad-free version, at least, I think. So I think that anybody who subscribes to HBO Max, the ad-free version, should get Discovery Plus as an add-on. Yes, I was correct. Discovery Plus is a $5 a month with advertising and $7 a month with ad-free. So let's do it. Discovery Plus, January 1st, which started January 1st, has about $200 million in losses for the quarter and should generate about the same loss for Q4. Oof. $200 million. That's two apps in the past two stories that we've heard where there's been major losses and there's really no. And the thing is, and then also there's the Discovery Plus bundle. I put in an Engadget article. So the thing is, Netflix is operating at a loss, but it has the credit to back it all up. And at some point, it's going to. We don't know if it's going to be in the green at some point, but the user base is there, the creditors are there, the money's there, and the platform is there, and the stars are there, and that's all that matters in the end. It doesn't matter if they're spending money hand over foot, quite literally burning money, giving shows 1 to 3 seasons, and then never renewing the contracts unless they're massive hits. It doesn't matter. In the end, Netflix is still going to be around. Disney Plus is going to be around. I think even if Apple TV Plus is operating at a loss, I think Apple wants to be so badly, sorely to be in the TV business that they will continue to pay for losses as long as possible. One, because they have the money to do so, but B, because TV is still a very much lucrative part of the organization to be in. And if they can have their hand in every part, if they have their hand in music, For a little bit, they they had Apple Music only releases for some Drake stuff and some a couple of Beyonce albums. Look how that panned out because nobody likes that. But if they can have a Ted Lasso, a Foundation, an Invasion, and those like the new Tom Hanks movie, a Tom Holland movie, one of those I will not see because it probably doesn't have any people of color in it. It's a Tom Holland movie. Then there's just no. I mean, there's no point. And then they get awards for these shows. Ted Lasso just dragged in the Emmys, and is going to continue to do so until it finishes airing. So there's no point for them to not leave. But when you're NBC Universal, and everybody wants to slice the pie, so when you're NBC Universal, when you're Comcast rather, and when you're what's the other one we were just talking about, Discovery, then you definitely want to jump on HBO Max. You definitely want to be able to have shows like SNL that try to propel you forward. Anyway, I'm not an analyst or anything. Listen, if you like what you heard here, head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where you can see me talk to comedians. This week I talked to Christian Mercado. I got into... I hate mentioning that I have emails for other people, but I do have emails out for other people, and sometimes they answer, sometimes they don't. I got a big name. Their representation emailed me, and I was like, hey, come on, please. But it's Friday, and I doubt they'll respond. Christian Mercado's great. He's a director and writer. He directed Phoebe Robinson's latest special, Sorry Harriet Tubman, on HBO Max, as well as Ada Rodriguez's on HBO Max. So check those out. Those just dropped within the past month, both of them. Ada's dropped yesterday, the 4th of November, 2021. And he has a new special with Michael Che coming out. He did Hannibal Buress's. He's worked with Billie Eilish, SZA, Bad Bunny, J Balvin. He's all over the place, and he's a nice guy, real chill dude. And we had a nice, good chat. If you want to see a video version of that interview, head on over to youtube.com/cpluscomedy, as well as a place where you can see the video version of this podcast. See me sitting in my blue shirt that's kind of sweaty. Just found the name of this episode so late in the podcast. You can see me sit here and try to host the show and produce it. All that stuff. Speaking of things I host and produce, News Time is our premiere show. News Time is our premiere show on youtube.com/cpluscomedy. It's like the Daily Show, except way less funny. And it's where I sit down and do one story a week. I had to do last week's episode this week, and hopefully I'll do this week's episode today or tomorrow. Who knows? We'll see. Maybe even Sunday. Check it out. It's a good show. I'll probably do 500 episodes and stop. I'm at 368. And then I'll stop after 500. Nobody watches this stuff. Don't lie to me. Instagram, Twitter, @CPlusComedy. Me on Instagram and Twitter @ChadBlackWhite. Like us on Facebook. Rate, review, subscribe to this show wherever you get podcasts. Tell your friends about it, please. Go tell your friends about it. Go tell your friends about it. Go tell them. Oh, go tell.